Don't we love this game, people? Don't we love this game? Because I do. I definitely love this game. Wow. Wow. I just watched one of the greatest finals that I've seen or watched in a very, very long time, my friends. Barcelona beats Real Madrid again in another cup final. 3-2 after extra time. And they lift the Copa del Rey for the 32nd time. 32nd. You heard it right. Barcelona lift the Copa del Rey for the 32nd time. And full congratulations to Barcelona. They deserve it. And they are on course for the quadruple. They are on course for a historic treble. Yet again. Copa del Rey in the bag. 2 more to go. 1 down. They still have La Liga to win, and they still have the Champions League to win. And I believe after today's win, they will be fully motivated, whether it's the players, the staff, the board members, Hansi Flick himself. Everyone is motivated to try and make this treble happen. That would be absolutely amazing. All of this without Robert Lewandowski up front. They didn't need him today because the players that played up front, the people that were playing up front today were causing all sorts of havoc. Now, listen, the breakdown of the game, you guys have definitely seen it. So I don't really need to go into details in terms of breakdown. The first goal, I mean, I'm going to mix it up here, right? The first goal, I mean, first of all, the pass from Yamal, great. Great pass from Yamal. And the finish from Pedri. Top bins. Now listen, Pedri is someone who, in my opinion, should have been in the Ballon d'Or conversation a long time ago. But for some reason, he was never in people's mouths. Pause. For some reason, he was never in people's top 3, top 5 when it came to the Ballon d'Or. But I mean, is there any more doubt now that Pedri needs to be in that conversation? Because he definitely needs to, especially after that performance today. A wonderful, wonderful finish to make it 1-0. Barcelona take the lead. And in that first half, Barcelona were all over Madrid. Madrid, I would be surprised. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I am in the comments. But I would be very surprised if Madrid had 2 or 3 shots on target in the first half, because it was all Barcelona. Now, let's get back to the goal. Can we talk about Lamine Yamal again? Because this kid, only 17 years of age, but I don't want to keep saying that, because at this point, it's not about the age anymore. Because I've said it a million times. When you have it, you have it. Whether you're 17, 27 or 37, when you have it, you just have it. And Lamine has that. I don't know what to call it, but he has it in abundance. Today was another proof. The maturity he plays with, the temperament he has, the experience he plays with. And again, he's only 17, but he plays the game like he's been playing it for ages. And that is something that you can't teach. Again, you either have it or you don't. Then the second half comes around. Madrid, I don't know what was said at halftime by either Ancelotti himself or his son, one of the other coaches. I don't know what was said. But Madrid came out in that second half and they were a different animal. Different animal. 2 players in particular, and I have to give them credit, even though afterwards they kind of faded out and they didn't do anything afterwards. But Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius, for a brief period, they were running riot in that Barcelona defense. They didn't know what to do with these two. The speed especially in the counters that those two were displaying. It was too much for Barcelona's defense. They couldn't cope with it. Inigo Martinez tackling into air, Vinicius just tapping the ball far away from the defenders. It was just too much pace for them. Kylian Mbappé comes off the bench and scores a free kick like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. Madrid had chances. They even took the lead through Tchouaméni. Lovely header. Nobody marks it. And that, the defense will have a look at this again, and I'm sure they will have a tactical breakdown after all the celebrations. And the question is going to be, how was Tchouaméni allowed to be unmarked to that extent? That's going to be something that, is going to be talked about. But then the game got even crazier. Another fantastic pass from Lamine Yamal. Another fantastic pass from Lamine Yamal to Ferran Torres. He makes it 2-2 and it goes to extra time. Lamine Yamal is the most mature 17-year-old I have ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not even joking. People in the comments are probably going to say otherwise, but listen, what he's doing at that age is absolutely incredible. But again, when you're doing stuff like this, age doesn't really matter because he just has it. This thing that people are looking for in other players, this thing that people claim to be seeing in other players, they do not have it. Believe me, they do not have it. They do not have an ounce of what you think they have. Lamine has that in abundance. What a wonderful, wonderful pass for Ferran Torres to make it 2-2. Towards the end, Barcelona thought they got a penalty, but it was definitely a dive, 100%. At first glance, you would have thought normal speed, okay, this could be a penalty. Barcelona can wrap it up and win it. But no, for me, it wasn't a penalty. And Rafinha should be ashamed of himself because that's not the way to go about stuff in a football game, especially a game of that magnitude. Now imagine if Rafinha was on a yellow already and he did that. That's a red. But you got lucky. You got lucky there because, you didn't have a yellow before that. So, yeah, and then in extra time, out of all people, it had to be Luka Modric who misplaced the pass. But I think Brahim Diaz has to take some blame as well. Because he could have gotten to that ball. I think there was a still that I saw where the pass is being played into Brahim and Koundé wasn't even in the shot yet. He wasn't even in that still yet. He intercepts the ball, lines up a perfect shot, bottom left corner, 3-2, game done, Barcelona win. Now, Barcelona, like I said, they are the best team in Europe at the moment. They are a force to be reckoned with, and I have to give credit, full credit, to Hansi Flick. He's gone there and made whatever the stadium is where they play, that stadium, he's made it a fortress again. You can't just go to Barcelona and win or think you can win because they are going to give you a hard time. They're going to give you a very hard time, especially with the quality they have up front, in the middle, that midfield. Again, I mean, this is ridiculous at this point. Firmín López, Pedri, Frankie de Jong captaining this side. It was just too much for Madrid. It was too much. It was too much technique. It was too much, close control. It was too much control in general. It was too much maturity, too much confidence. Madrid's midfield didn't know what to do with that Barca midfield. And if there's anyone that could kind of say, I did something in the first half, it was Jude, with the way he carried the ball always from one side to the other of the pitch and then laid it off to the right or left for his teammates. Listen, like I said, Pedri, whatever you think about your favourite in the Ballon d'Or conversation, put your favourite out of there and put Pedri in there because Pedri is having an outstanding season so far. An absolutely outstanding season. On top of the quality, on top of the technique, on top of the intelligence, he can line up finishers like today. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And all of this, like I said, without Robert Lewandowski. Now imagine if he was there tonight. what could have happened? Now Robin Lewandowski can chill. Yes, he's got an injury and he's out for about 3 or 4 weeks, if I'm not wrong. But he can chill. He can relax. He can relax and say, listen, boys, you guys don't need me. I can recover properly and we're going to go for this Champions League quest. We're going to go for this Champions League quest. Now, credit to Hansi Flick, credit to Barcelona. They fully deserve this win. Real Madrid. We need to have some words. Because when the whole show, I have to call it a show, when that whole show with the referees happened last night, I tweeted out and I said, this has to be the most embarrassing thing that I've seen ever from Real Madrid. And they clearly did not learn from the antics on social media before the return fixture against Arsenal. They clearly have not learned anything from that. Because how on earth, 24 hours before one of your biggest games against your biggest rivals, how on earth do you go public with a statement saying that you're not happy with the Royal Spanish Football Federation, with the referees that they've chosen to referee this game? Why do you care? Why do you care so much? Why do you need someone to give decisions that go your way? Which the referee did, to be fair, tonight. A lot of the decisions were against Barcelona, if we have to be honest. And then you go and get embarrassed by your biggest rivals in another cup final again. They took one title from you. They took a second from you, or trophy, I should say. They took 2 trophies from you already, and they're about to take they're about to take a third. They can take a third trophy away from you. But all you can think about is what referee you're going to have. And on top of that, speaking of referees who gave you a lot of decisions, Real Madrid's behavior has just been nothing short of an embarrassment as well. You've got Rudiger and Vinny throwing stuff at the ref. I mean, at this point, they're throwing tantrums like kids. We're talking about toddler behavior here. This cannot run. Honestly, I'm expecting to see, statements from the Royal Spanish Football Federation now, giving sanctions, because how on earth can a man like Rudiger, who I rate but personally, and I think his behavior has always been, he's always shown the example. But for him to be throwing ice packs at the referee, I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Every decision that goes against Madrid, you've got the players standing up and then throwing their arms and doing this and do all sorts of gestures. Walking onto the pitch when your place is on the bench. I don't rate that. Personally, I don't rate it at all. And that just sums up Madrid's season. It's a catastrophe. Let's be honest. It's a catastrophe. They're going to finish the season most likely with no trophy. It's going to be a trophyless season for Madrid. Unfortunately, Ancelotti's going to be the one to be the fall guy for it. He's probably going to be sacked. 80%. But the players are going to stay. When the players are the ones that need to take a deep look in the mirror and ask themselves, have we given enough for this final? And I gave Vinicius and Mbappe their credit. But like I said, it was a spell in the game. It wasn't the full game, because that first half, that wasn't good. And after that little spell, when Mbappe and Vinny were running riot, after that, we've seen nothing. You had guys in the first half who got subbed off. Rodrigo. Yeah, this wasn't good for Madrid. This wasn't good at all. And it looked like everything that Barcelona did, yes, Madrid had them 2 answers for them. They had the free kick and they had the corner. But when it came to the actual gameplay, I felt like Madrid didn't have any responses for Barcelona. They didn't have the same level of finesse and technique in midfield to respond to what Barcelona was suggesting in terms of play, in terms of football. They didn't have any answers. Barcelona were just too strong. Barca was just way too strong for Madrid. And listen, we're going to save the best for last. Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. Now, I know Kylian Mbappe allegedly had a few issues with his ankle, which is why he started on the bench. And then he came on, scored his goal. Fantastic goal, nothing to say. Fair play. But it's going to have to be more than that. It's going to have to be more than that. And I'll tell you why, because a lot of talk has happened. For those who don't know, by the way, Mbappe is someone who likes to talk in the media. He loves to talk. For those who are French speaking, we all remember what he was saying when he was about, I'd say, 20, 21. Don't talk to me about age. When you talk to me about whether someone's good enough or not good enough. If you're good enough, you're on the pitch and you're going to play. If you're not good enough, you shut up, you're on the bench and you watch others play. Those were Kylian Mbappe's words when he was 21. So for those who are not familiar with what Mbappe says in the media, those are the type of things that he comes out with. So I think someone who comes out with statements like that needs to be criticized accordingly, in my opinion. Vinicius Jr. I mean, you told us that you were going to do it 10 times harder. You were going to work 10 times harder if you have to show us that you deserve the Ballon d'Or. Well, it's looking very, very peak right now, my friend. It's looking very, very unlikely. For me, neither of these two are in the Ballon d'Or conversation. No, far away from those conversations. Nah. No. Madrid beaten again. All they have left at the moment, is La Liga. If they do not win La Liga, which is looking unlikely already because they're behind Barcelona. Imagine seeing your biggest rivals, who were in a transition, if we're being honest. At the start of the season, nobody knew what was going to happen with this Barca team. Nobody knew whether some of these players were going to stay, leave. We didn't know. We didn't know. Look at what Hansi Flick is doing with this team. He's come in and completely transformed this team. Completely transformed them. Wow. But I've got to give massive credit, massive credit to Barcelona. It was a joy to watch them. It was a joy to watch them. And this is why I love football. But listen, let me know in the comment section what you think, people. If you made it till the end of this video, go in the comment section and type in Barca champions. Yeah, Barca champions, cup champions. No, go in the comment section and type in Barca cup champions. But listen, wow, what a fantastic game. Honestly, I enjoyed every minute of it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, people. Make sure you go ahead and drop a comment as well tomorrow or later today, because it's already past midnight, nearly 1 a.m. I'm going to be back to talk about the cup semi-final between Nottingham Forest and Manchester City. It will be very interesting to see who makes the final and who will join Crystal Palace in the final. Just for the beauty of football, I want to see Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, but that remains to be seen. Anyway, like, share, comment, subscribe, people, and I'm out. Peace.